This title is narrated with virtual voice, computer-generated narration for audiobooks. The Murder of Emma Brown by Kackley. 1. She was losing consciousness. In a way, it was a blessing. The teenage girl had never been much of a fighter, and she'd proven to be no match for the violence of her angry friend. Her attacker was more than her friend. She was her best friend. They'd been together since childhood. They were only teenagers now, but it had been a lifetime of shared misery and rebellion. It wasn't easy being a kid in Saskatoon, Canada. The weather was more than cold. It was brutal, but when you grow up in that climate, it's all you know. So the weather was the weather. The real problem was the drugs, the crime, the poverty, and the violence. This young woman who was losing her fight to stay conscious dropped out of high school. That wrong turn in life was followed by the kind of trouble lots of rebellious kids get into. Everyone knows the score in Saskatoon. But she had finally taken the advice of an older friend and had gone back to school to get her diploma. She was even thinking of taking some university classes and starting her own business. She'd stay in Saskatoon, but she'd create a new life for herself. However, that was now the last thing on her mind. She was pretty sure her nose was broken. She was positive she'd lost at least 2 teeth. She'd had a rough life. But she had never experienced a beating like this. She was sitting in the mud, leaning up against her car. And she was freezing. It couldn't have been warmer than 32 degrees Fahrenheit. Her pants were soaked with urine. She'd lost control of her bodily functions after taking a crack over the head. She wasn't sure what she'd been hit with. She'd stopped fighting back. She'd just taken it. She was only trying to survive, hoping her friend, who had gone absolutely ballistic once they'd gotten out of the car to take a walk into a wooded area to pee, would either take mercy on her or just get tired. She'd only been trying to look out for her friend. Her best friend had tried to call a guy she knew to get more drugs as they left a house party. The teenage girl, who was afraid she was watching her life fade away, had wrestled the phone out of her friend's hand and thrown it out the car's window. Her friend was pissed. They'd stopped, looked for the phone, and failing to find it, walked back to her car together. But the girl was afraid. She knew her friend was simmering with anger. Her friend had a history of violence. More than one of their classmates, before they had dropped out of school together, had felt her wrath. But she had never expected anything like this. They'd always been friends, she thought to herself. They'd shared dreams and hopes of moving out of Saskatoon, Canada. Neither of them fantasized about getting married and having children. Neither of their life experiences had included a happy home life. Rather, they had dreamed since elementary school of staying together, sharing an apartment and a life, and above all else, freedom. The teenager, actually she was a young woman, 18 years of age, was now having trouble seeing. Blood was flowing down her forehead into her eyes. But more than that, she was losing focus. Everything was blurry. She was nauseous. Her nose was smashed. She couldn't breathe. She could see her friend coming at her holding something in her hands. It wasn't a weapon. It was a belt. She felt her friend grab her brown hair that was now sticky with blood and mud and yank it hard. The pain ripped like electricity through her scalp, nearly down into her shoulders. She felt her head slammed back against the side of her car. Once, twice, 3 times. Her friend was breathing hard. Even though it was freezing cold, her friend was covered with sweat. She drifted off for a moment, but was brought back to reality by a new sharp cutting pain. So this is what they meant when they said you got hit so hard you saw stars, she thought. The belt cut into her neck. When it was pulled tight, the teenager felt her tongue pop out of her mouth. She messed her jeans again. If she'd cared about life anymore, she would have been hugely embarrassed. But nothing that used to matter seemed of much concern with death so imminent. Everything was fading away. She lost the will to focus her sight and fight through the fog that was enveloping all she could see. She gave up. 2. 8 p.m. Central Standard Time.
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.